Influencers are not your friends. I repeat, Shombo. Influencers are not your friends. Maryjane Byarm is a YouTube travel influencer with over 200,000 subscribers. She is well known for vlogging her travels throughout the world as she's visited over 100 different countries. Impressive, yeah? She's gained notoriety, especially given that she's one of the few black women in the luxury travel niche on YouTube. However, this millionaire is now being accused of scamming by her subscribers. People would pay her upwards of $2,000 for her to organize trips on their behalf so that they could go on holiday with her. But mysteriously enough, trips would get cancelled last minute with no response from Maryjane regarding rescheduling the trip or possible refunds.
Everyone, listen up. You didn't lose your money. Now, you have your... Technically, you kind of lost your money.
We'll now hear from her victims and how you and I can avoid our exposure to being scammed by our favorite influencer. And later on in the video, we'll analyze Maryjane's response to these allegations.
So obviously, this video is about Maryjane Byarm and my experience with her. So you guys may have heard of her. She is a YouTuber, Instagrammer, traveler. So back in October, you guys may have seen that she was hosting a trip to Dubai for $2,500. I was super excited because I was a mega fan, because I myself am a traveler too. So I was trying to book the package on her link at the time, but for whatever reason it wasn't going through. So cool, I got a hold of her and she told me I could send it through Cash App. So I cashed out to her $2,500. Never asked me for my passport, what was my full name or anything. The only thing she asked me was which state I was coming from. I told her I was in Atlanta. All right.
So the first mistake was sending the money through Cash App. And from what I can understand from Cash App, right, it's like sending an e-transfer, right? Once you send it, that's it. This is what Cash App says on their site, actually. It says, since Cash App cannot guarantee a refund, if you don't receive what you pay for, it's safer to send money over Cash App once you meet the buyer in person and receive whatever has been promised to you. Always verify those you send money to and pay them after you receive what you purchased. So basically, sending money through Cash App, there's no buyer protection. I know PayPal has buyer protection. I bought stuff through PayPal and got a refund in the past. But for the most part, FYI, whenever you are buying a product or service, you are protected most heavily, right, when you are paying through a credit card. The credit card you can definitely do like a chargeback dispute. You can call your bank, yeah, listen, about this thing and I didn't get the service. I think like 90% of the time when you call your bank with regards to a credit card dispute, they have an incentive to look on your behalf because it's their money that, you know, you are essentially lending, right? But if it's just a direct deposit or directly from your checking account, it's your money that you are losing right away, right? So they don't have as much of a vested interest in ensuring you get your money back. So buyer beware. Pay for stuff, pay for services with your credit card. Based on what I can see, right? Maryjane's booking service, essentially, right? They didn't really have a reputable history or a track record of having successful and enjoyable trips. So it makes sense, especially if there's no, you know, positive reviews on social media, independent reviews, right? Then it makes sense to buy stuff with a credit card.
So after a month or so, I saw that she wasn't making any movement towards booking anything. But either way, I reached out to her December and I told her that I was going through some family issues. Honestly, I was going through a really rough time, so I told her I wasn't going to be able to go on February, which was when I was supposed to go. She made up this whole story saying like, I have already booked everything, so now I have to. She was very nasty. Like, I was never rude to her, but she was so nasty. And I'm gonna put up all of this evidence I'm talking to you guys about. I'm going to put it at the end of the video. You can fast forward through it and read through those if you want. So she was super nasty since the beginning. I told her I would never want to argue with you because all I want is my money back. And honestly, she was somebody I looked up to. So yeah, she never paid me back the full amount. Mind you, this happened November, December-ish, right? I reached out to her again the end of January because she said she would refund me, just not at the moment. So I reached out to her at the end of January. Hey, are you gonna pay me like $2,500? She said, sure. I'm going to make 5 payments through Cash App. Every day I'm going to send you $500 until I reach the 5th payment. All right. She paid me 4 times. She made 4 payments of $500, which is $2,000, right? It didn't happen in 4 days, like she said. It took weeks of me begging to get to that point. Then she only had $500 left. She never paid it back, you guys. And I honestly don't think she ever intended to pay me back since the beginning because of how rude she was being and the lies she was making up. I've been to 12 countries, so I know there was no possible way that she had booked all of this and then suddenly canceled it because I'm not stupid. I know how booking a ticket works. The point is that she never paid me my $500 back. She blocked me on her phone. I reached out to her with many different numbers telling her, hey, this is Ashley Moreta. Remember, like, you still owe me $500. You never paid me back. Then, yeah, I made a comment on another video that is out about her, sharing my experience that, yeah, she never paid me back either. There were actually a few people in the comments that had the same issue with her. So I believe this. So back to what I was saying, I believe that this has happened to other people because when I made the comment that this also happened to me, a lot of people were saying like, yeah, like I had this and that experience with her. Please make a video about it. So here I am. Someone even replied to me, wait a minute, you paid for her trip or did she have a travel package? That's very interesting because she says she only gets money to travel through social media, ads, and sponsorships. That is not true, obviously, because she said it was fine that since it wasn't going through her link to purchase the travel package, to purchase it through Cash App, that I could Cash App her the money. So, yeah, she is not the person that she fakes to be on social media. That is not her. I know she says she's very Christian and all of these things, but that is not very Christian to me. Stealing money and blocking me because she thinks that suddenly the problem will go away. No, like, people work hard for their money and you shouldn't be using your platform to steal from people and scam people.
And next up, we have another scam victim, and this is what she has to say.
So many. And the thing that's even scaring me the more is that it's people our age. And honestly, like, I've been thinking like, okay, I have to get out of this country. I have to go see other parts of life because God forbid I die with my dreams and ambitions. I don't know if that sounds harsh because I know people that died at such a young age, they had dreams, they had ambition. But you get kind of scared seeing that happen so often around you. And so about a month ago, since I went to school in Nigeria, I have a lot of friends from Nigeria. And so I found out that one of my classmates died. And honestly, I lost it. I went crazy. It's different when you see people dying around you and you don't really know them like that. But this is somebody that went to my church, somebody that was in my school. Like, I really lost it. And I was like, you know what? I have to get away. I have to see other parts of the world. I have to live out my dreams because nobody knows tomorrow. That's the only thing that was on my mind. I didn't think about rent. I didn't think about my responsibilities because at that time, I didn't, like, all I cared about was just living my life because tomorrow was just never promised. And honestly, I did a very impulsive thing. I saw that there was this lady on Instagram that I follow by the name of Maryjane Byarm. And I've been following her for the past 2 months now. And I was like, okay, like, I see that she travels. And she spoke on how she traveled with no funds, like no nothing, because traveling is truly her passion. And she just got up and left. And so I was like, okay, why don't I
travel with no funds? Okay. Is that even wise? Especially as a woman with no funds? Come on now. That was really a red flag. How? How, Sway? How?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
I do that, you know? Why don't I get up and leave and live out my dreams? Like, am I really living if I say I love traveling, I say I love seeing other parts of the world, and I don't, you know, put my foot forward and do it, regardless of what's going on in my life? And honestly, I took a chance. I took a leap of faith, and I put down $1,000 for this $2,000 trip. But then, like, literally 2 hours later, I thought about it. Not even up to 2 hours. Like, an hour later, I was like, bruh, does this even make sense? And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and look up this this trip that she hosts. That was the first mistake I made. I started looking up the trip she hosted after I put the money down. Anyway, and so I decided to look up trips that she hosted. And then as soon as I typed in her name, I saw Maryjane lies. And I was like, lies? After giving her my $1,000, she lies. It's not I'm finding out that she lies. So anyway, I watched the video and the girl's talking about how she lies a lot, that she takes people on trips without giving them return tickets to come back home. I was like, God forbid that be my portion. Plus, it's my rent money, bro. I was like, Flora, are you actually dumb? Are you dumb?
Hold up. Wait,
Still amazed by the stuff that comes out of your mouth. I don't understand why I did not see this coming. I do not understand why I did not see this coming. I don't even know what to say to you right now. I need you to shut the hell up for the immediate future.
You know, when I buy stuff, right, I always think about the ROI, the return on investment of this purchase. Let's just say, it's one thing if you were, let's say, traveling, paying this $1,000, and there was expectation of making money back, right? But from her perspective, it seemed like she was just doing it just to get out of the country, right? I think she's in Nigeria, and just wanted to go somewhere. There's two aspects to it, right? There's the influencer putting on a facade, showing a lifestyle that they aren't really living, right? You see it a lot in the make money online niche on YouTube. People that show you, you know, they have these like extravagant introductions. They're traveling the world, living in Bali, living in Taiwan, whatever, etc. And they say, you can do it too if you just pay me $1,000. When you're buying all these online courses or buying these services, are you already okay financially to be even purchasing the stuff, right? Do you have at least 3 to 6 months of expenses covered, right? That means if let's say your monthly expenses is $1,000, right? Do you have anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 saved up in your savings fund, right? That's one aspect. Now, like I said before, using a credit card will bypass a lot of these scam allegations or scam activities, right? Because you are essentially using the bank's money to make these purchases. And then if you have any issues, the bank is more likely more invested to ensure that you get the money back, right? But even when using a credit card, overall, just in general, you don't want to use more than 20% of your credit card balance. So if your balance is, let's say, $1,000, that's the balance on your credit card. You don't want to use more than $200 at a given time. Not only will keeping your credit card utilization low improve your credit score, like when you want to buy a house or get a car, whatever it is, but it will also allow you to actually pay off the credit card balance. My rule of thumb has always been, if you don't have at least 3 months worth of expenses saved up, you should not be using a credit card. The financial discipline that it takes to save money, right, and have at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up prepares you to use a credit card. And now once you graduate using a credit card, don't use more than 20% at a given time. That 20% margin allows you to not over leverage yourself and not put all these expenses on a credit card. Proper credit card management is especially essential when you are buying make money online courses or courses that promise you to make more money in the future. So if the course costs $1,000, do you have the money right then and there to pay it? Or are you hoping that you'll pay the money back with the promise of what they are teaching you? If you're banking on the outcome of the course, don't do it. You are going to burn yourself financially and end up in half the amount of credit card debt and paying that beautiful 19% interest. Don't do it.
I am a clown. I am a clown.
It's not about taking risks. It's about taking calculated risks. That means you're actually doing the math. You're actually doing the inventory of what would happen if this thing didn't work out for you.
I just had to wake up and see like the reality of my life. Like, yes, I want to live on my dreams. Yes, I want to, see other parts of the world. But honestly, in that moment, it made so much sense to forget about my rent, forget about my responsibilities, and just leave. But honestly, don't be like me. Don't be like me, bro. If you still have rent to pay, if you still have all these responsibilities on your neck, pay for the responsibilities and then go. Because honestly, like, it started catching up to me. Anyway, so I started, after I watched the video and I thought about it, I was like, wait, this is my rent money. What am I doing? I texted her and I was like, hey, is it okay if I get my refund back? Because I made a dumb mistake and I need my money back to pay my rent. And so that's when she didn't respond for like...
Okay, so I seen the message. It looked like she paid through Zelle. Another thing, again, Zelle, Cash App, e-transfer. If you're just paying money without any backing of a credit card, even for Zelle, right? Even for Zelle, it says if your recipient has already enrolled with Zelle, the money is sent directly to your recipient's bank account and cannot be canceled. Zelle, Cash App. I'm not sure any of the others that are out there. Maybe Vimeo too, probably. But for the most part, double check if your money provider actually has payment protection. Otherwise, stick to PayPal, stick to credit cards, and you can be a bit more at ease.
Done out here, it's on a nightly basis. I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here, because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
About like 12 hours or so, like to the next day. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm thinking, oh, praise you, Jesus, that I'm getting my money back. No, like, questions asked. I was like, okay, maybe the video was lying, that she's a liar. I don't know. The way I was so happy. But then I was like, honestly, it felt too real to be true that she just said, yeah, that's fine, and that's it, And so I texted her and I was like, okay, can you please send me the money by today because I need to pay my rent? And she was like, that's when she texted me back and she was like, wait, she's confused. I was like, confused? Okay. Why is this girl confused, So I texted her and I was like, hey, Maryjane, like, honestly, I made a mistake. Just, reiterating myself, like, I need my money back to pay my rent because I'm behind on rent. And then she didn't respond to me. So then I decided to text her sister that, okay, backtrack. I sent the money to her sister because she said that her Zelle isn't working or like something like that. So I sent the money to her sister's Zelle and her sister was supposed to send it to her. So I started calling the sister's number because with Zelle, you have the person's number. So I start calling the sister and I'm like, hey sister, like, your sister has my money. Can you please like contact her so that she can give me back my money? And sister saying that she hasn't heard from her sister in a while because her sister's in Egypt or whatever. I'm putting in quotes because she's still posting on social media. Like, I know you see my message about you sending me back my money. And so after all of that happens, I decided to go ahead and call my bank. And my bank was like, okay, wait 3 days because it's only been like the first day that you requested this money back. So wait a couple of days and then call us back. So I waited a couple of days. I still didn't hear from Maryjane. So then I called my bank. And when I called my bank, they were like, okay, but they're going to investigate the situation. So in the middle of the investigation, Maryjane texted me back. Hallelujah, praise God. She texted me back and she's like, oh, hey, like this issue is getting complicated. Now my sister's involved and her bank got shut down. Whatever she told me, I don't know what kind of thing, what she was even typing, I didn't even understand it. All I knew was I want my money back.
Yeah, scam tendencies. And let's just hear what Maryjane has to say for these allegations.
Every season of our life is part of the whole. And it should be embraced. Yes, even the painful seasons. The more we resist, the more it's going to hurt. And the longer it's going to take. And I was just thinking when I was studying for this, one of the first things they tell every victim is now, take slow, deep.
Victim?
Ma'am, what are you doing? Ma'am, what were you doing?
You need to go ahead and worry about your life and your career.
This is the perfect example of deflection. Let's just continue.
Breaths. Relax. What do they tell a woman when she's in labor? Now breathe. Relax. You know why? Because the more you fight against any kind of emotional pain or physical pain or whatever it is, the more it hurts. And yeah, I know some people think, well, surely, what's going on in my life is just demonic, and surely you cannot expect me to embrace that. I'm not telling you that you have to love the thing, but we do need to learn the secret that God has a purpose in everything he permits in our lives. And even though we may never understand it, we can trust God that his word is true, and he always, here comes another secret, always works everything out for our good to those who love him and want his will. Always. Here tonight gets a little tenacity and says, I'm not going to just whine about my problems the rest of my life. I'm not going to spend all of my now life resenting what somebody did to me way back here. I'm going to put that in God's hands. I'm going to get on with what God has for me. I'm going to get well, and I'm going to love every moment of my life.
I heard he says, as humans, we all... As humans, we all sin. Yeah.
Believe that everything is going to work out. How do you do it?
Well, I'll tell you my secret, sir.
I lie to myself. Every morning when I wake up, I say everything's gonna be okay, but I'm lying. And I don't know how much longer I can do it.
She's promoting her shit. My travel bag from High Spirit. Look, listen to this part. My anti-theft travel bag. Wow. That's what we call irony. That's the truest form of irony right there. She's promoting a product within, I guess it's supposed to be her apology video, maybe. This is the most recent video she's dropped.
I think one of the hardest but most admirable things a person can be in this life is non-circumstantial. Meaning, you don't act or you don't feel based on your circumstances. When things are good, you're happy. When things are bad, you're sad. When things are confusing, you're frustrated. When things are painful, you're upset. I don't want to live that way. I've been practicing choosing how I feel and embracing every aspect of my life. To just live is such a difficult thing. To just breathe and be and appreciate life. Which is why I chose to go to the park and just live. Just listen. Just look. Just relax. And just be. Not be responsive. Not everything deserves a response. But to just embrace literally everything.
Not everything deserves a response. Guess that's who we're about addressing the allegations. But basically, when you are buying stuff from influencers, you don't know these people from a can of paint, but it's a parasocial relationship. You know them, you know a lot of stuff about them. They don't know who you are. You watching this, I don't know who you are. You may know my name right now. You might watch some other videos if you like my content. But for the most part, you're only seeing the camera version of them. You don't know the true intentions, right? You see all the people who, this, what's the quote? You don't want to meet your idol, right? Or something like that, because they'll always disappoint you. That image you have of them in your head will never coincide with the reality of them. So, to protect yourself, don't Zelle nobody, don't Cash App nobody, don't e-transfer nobody. If you must, double check whatever service you are using to a payment service. Double check if they have payment protection. Do not send them the money at all, or if it's possible, pay it through a credit card. That's how you protect yourself and not get scammed. Especially, don't be giving money, don't be paying for stuff that you can't afford to lose, right? You're using your rent money, using your grocery money, using your card, whatever it is, on things with no track history of like being beneficial, right? Especially when it comes to online courses, right? You're buying the $1,000 course and hoping that you will be able to start making, I don't know, maybe $1,000 per month, right? Assume that money, you're not gonna make that money. Especially when you have, you know, business coaches or people online telling you how to make money. Always remember, right? Only about 10% of the population even makes 6 figures. That's one aspect. So just be a little bit more skeptical on how likely it is for you to achieve income results or whatever else there is going on in the world. But as always, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it. And too much of any good thing is good for nothing. How you lot doing today? Say it with me. I'm doing more, saying less, and keeping that same energy. No cap. But while you lot are here, yeah, watch my past video right here on how to properly use your credit card and when to pay your credit card bill by in order to increase your credit score and avoid the credit card interest charges. Or watch my other video right here on how you can live in Airbnbs with no job, bad credit, or an eviction on your record and be there instead of renting an apartment, right? You still need money, obviously you use your savings, but this is how you can do it if you are constantly getting denied or rejected for living spaces. Alright? If it doesn't feed you, don't water it, and too much of any good thing is good for nothing. Alright, flip the script. I'm out. Deuces.
I know that you're scared of loving and scared of trusting. Don't want nobody answer.